As defined in Chapter 7 of An Introduction to Language by Victoria Fromkin, code switching is mainly a term unique to bilingual people in which they alternate between using the languages they know within sentences or between sentences. It occurs when individuals from the same group speak the same two or more languages. There are many misconceptions about code switching, such as the idea that individuals only code switch to cope with not having yet mastered both languages. To combat this misconception, I've used a graph on the next slide to showcase the real reasons that bilingual people code switch. So this graph is from research done by Alam and Quayam in 2016, which I accessed from animan.com. It claims that the biggest reasons that people code switch are as follows: to amplify and emphasize, to add expression and personality, and out of habit. I've experienced this personally from people that code switch, and I'm going to talk about it. So I can use my mother and my manager at work as examples. When my manager gets really excited about something, she often says a few words in Spanish to emphasize how excited she's feeling, with Spanish being her native language, and one can see the emotion in her face when they're talking to her, and she suddenly switches from English words to Spanish words at the end of her sentences when she's really invested in something. My mom, on the other hand, is someone that does it more out of habit. I've seen her express herself through code switching, don't get me wrong, but mainly I've noticed she just uses words in Chinese sometimes, even if the rest of her sentence is in English, to describe something because they're easier to remember and come more naturally to her. A couple more that I have experience with are when people code switch to quote other people, and when they do so to show identity. I've had countless friends who code switch to refer to quotes from movies that are in another language, or even just as well-known quotes by philosophers and the like. So as far as to show identity, I used to be friends with someone who was very expressive, and he would once in a while speak in Spanish to show identity, because the language was a huge part of his cultural identity, and I knew this about him because of his actions would tell me like how connected he was to his culture, such as the foods that he ate, the way he interacted with his family, etc. Code switching was just another thing he did on top of that. So to conclude, I hope you enjoyed this short presentation I did on code switching, in which I explained what it was and gave personal anecdotes on the reasons that people do it. The sources that I used were the textbook An Introduction to Language by Fromkin, written in 1998, and the article What is Code Switching by Anamend, written in 2021. Thank you for your time. Have an awesome rest of your day.